They are
Yeah.
desperate. That's what we do call them. There is something that happened when um, a man wanted to get visa. So the first thing he did was, after they interviewed him. He walked away. There are CCTV cameras everywhere, and at a particular time, the man started jubilating, like, showing some actions that is overexcited, and it was cited from the camera, and they called him back and denied him the visa. It was, what do I did? What have I done, rather? And it recalled to him that it was because of his overexcitement. So they counted it as desperation. When you are going out of this country and from Nigeria to a very maybe US and other countries, and they discover that you dress with you knot your tie or your neck. You didn't dress casual. They will call you desperate. So, in other words, what you're saying is desperation can be a sign that shows that these people are not the real traders. Is that what you mean?
Uh, Not necessarily desperation.
Okay.
Um, I think it's those people who are always trying to sell you something, sell you a course. They're talking about how good of a trader they are, and follow me and buy all my stuff, and I can make you $1 million, and let me trade for you, and I can do it, and you know,
Okay.
buy, and give me money, give me money, give me money, and never give you anything in return. Those
All
kind of.
right. So this is how you actually identify those people who are actually trying to make money out of you and not to impact you. So
Yes.
there are some good traders out there, but the negative ones or the bad ones have actually outrode those ones, because it's so bad that you can't actually tell the sheep from the goat.
Right.
Everybody looks alike. So, but
Right.
still yet, once we get closer, once we get closer, so we begin to observe and see who they look like. So it is high time we actually stay off those kind of people and focus on ourselves. That is why I am offering us this 3 months internship class. These 3 months is going to help a lot. It's all about analysis. So you said, what, come again, what do you say you need actually?
What do I need?
Like, in terms of the things you said you learned, you mentioned earlier. You need an accountability partner. Come again. Let's kill them again.
Right. I need an accountability partner because sometimes I tend to overtrade. And so I lose a trade, and it's like, dang it. Oh, there's another setup. I can get this one back. Oh, then I lose another one. It's like, okay, wait, let me try to make that money back. So sometimes I overtrade. And I just like to talk to somebody about, it's not necessarily an accountability partner, but um,
Who you can talk to. Talk
somebody I
to.
can talk to and look at the charts who trades the same way that I do. It'd be nice if we're trading at the same time,
Okay.
and we can talk about the trades, and yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. At least you get most of our teachings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a trading psychologist. Is that what you need?
Yes.
Yes,
I
you need.
need I need somebody. Yeah. I'm not very good at when to take a trade, when to exit the trade. My trade goes into profit, and then I turn and look the other way, and all of a sudden it's negative.
Okay. You also need a trading accountability coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I would love to be in
also,
a group that trades live every
okay,
day. That would be awesome.
that would be awesome. We're gonna be doing that also. We're gonna be installing that after the 3 months class. We're going to be doing every time. We're gonna be on YouTube, showing people what we are made of. So I thank God. God has actually helped me so far after the whole stuff, schooling, and I know I was being scammed. I took down my web. Someone from Canada actually, after some people registered in the website, it took the website down, took the money, left. I had an email marketer, marketing stuff, all of them left. I was focused on school too. There is someone who was managing my funds. Those times. So the guy had my money, and I don't know what happened again. The guy made mistake, and then the funds that was in the account went somewhere else. So it actually caused a little problem, because at that moment we were supposed to renew the rent of that academy. So I couldn't renew. So I had to tell about my four teachers that everyone has to go away. I had to stay on my own. I had to rebuild myself, fix myself. And yeah, we had today, we begin. I also had my Instagram, taken down because of some guys who tried to hack into my account and all of that. In fact, my bank was has been blocked for a while before they could release it, because they noticed some manipulations and all of that. But we thank God we are becoming stable this time around, and then we're going to push from there. So I'm happy to see everybody again in this call. So we are going to get started, and we're going to hit the wall with E4CFX Global. And I believe you are in the right place at the right time. Quick one, while we get started, we're going to be inviting our guest immediately without wasting much time. Someone is asking this question. I believe it's a very polite question. How do one deal with trading addiction, which leads to overtrading and trying to be right every time, not accepting loss and letting one loses cause of so much pain? I think we have the same issue. So it was saying how we so our guest in the house is going to talk about those things. So please, let's welcome Mr. Daniel Chinelo. You're welcome, sir. Chinedu, come up on stage, making you the host. Come up on stage. All right, let's get to the topic. Today's topic, hope you guys remember what today's topic is. We have been dealing on psychology this time around, trading, life beyond the four walls of trading. But today, we're going to be touching dignity, the most important or the most principal factor to a lasting relationship in business, in trading. Everything is going to be, because business trading is a business. And let me give you people just one words before I go. That there is a difference between a general market and a supermarket. I'll tell you the difference. Supermarket makes noise. Sorry, general market makes noise the most. When you go to a general market, you see the noise there. Oh, come and buy, come and do this. People trying to buy and people trying to sell. But when you come to a supermarket, you see that word there, supermarket. It is super, and then everything there is orderly. You go to where you need to buy this one. You go there, everywhere quiet, AC, this so cool, and they are actually expensive more, but it is still affordable, and it's for the rich. So don't fall for people that make noise. Don't fall for people that make noise. There's difference between the noisemakers and the super makers. There's difference between the noisemakers and the super makers. Let's invite our guest immediately on stage. You're welcome, sir. Take the seat.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good
How are
evening.
we all doing today? I hope you can all hear me.
DMJ, be active now.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Good evening, sir.
All right, awesome, great stuff. Good evening. So, I just want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. Enoch E4C, the CEO of E4CFX Global, for the privilege and the opportunity to be part of tonight's session. Maybe a little bit of background history about myself. I believe many of us in this meeting or in this group are all players in the forex market, or let me just say in the trading space or in the trading market. It could be forex, it could be crypto, it could be stocks, indices, or synthetics. So I'm a forex trader as well, with almost a decade of experience, right? And I am really glad to be a part of you guys tonight. Mr. Enoch and I've known him since I think 2023, so pushing 3 years now. I know a little bit of his background story, which he shared in the first conference that we met, and how today the key factor of success, which is the God factor, has played a very huge impact in his life to bring him to where he is today, to be able to host, a program like this, right? So I would really implore each and every one of us tonight to, as much as possible, pay attention and take notes of the few things that I'll be sharing with the time that has been given to me. All right, so tonight, the topic that was highlighted or given was dignity. That's the most principal factor to a lasting relationship in business, right? So I believe the whole scope of, or the whole theme of this program was essentially giving us an idea of life within trading and outside trading. Oh, yes, let me just say within trading and outside trading. And I believe from the first days or the days prior to this, we've all had speakers, people who have come to touch on different things, right? However, we all know that in the trading space, there are several means of making money. However, the primary means should be from trading itself. So we have people who make money from trading, and then we now have the business side of trading that people make money from as well, right? So I believe maybe prior to today, maybe a few people may have spoken about all that. So I will more or less be focusing on business in general, both in trading and outside trading, since the theme is beyond the four walls of trading, right? So I'll really implore each and every one of us to really cut off any distractions. You can take a pen and a note and, take notes during this session. Personally, I am a firm believer, I'm a Christian one, and I'm a firm believer in the fact that to have success that lasts and is transferable to your generations or to your children's children, even as the Bible says, it's important for you to understand the importance of the God factor in business, in trading, in everything you do in life generally, putting God first. All right, so during my teaching or during my little talk this evening, I may be referencing some Bible verses and biblical examples. And I would like each and every one of us to have or keep an open mind, right? So we may have people here of different faith, religious backgrounds. So people who probably don't believe in God or in any superior being, right? Or have different type of faith or practice a different type of religion. So I would just want you to all keep an open mind and pick what works for you. You know, things that you can practically apply from tonight or from tomorrow moving forward. All right, so let's just get right into it. All right, so topic is dignity, the most principal factor to a lasting relationship in business. Right, and I would just want to start off by asking us a very simple question. Right, if I'll also encourage us to participate as much as we can, and also keep your questions for later, for when it's time for Q&A. Right, so before we get a response to this, the question I want to ask us is very simple, right? Now, after someone does business with you, whether you provide them a service, they made a purchase from you, got a product from you, how do they feel? Or you can write the question down, and probably we'll get some responses later. So the question is, again, after someone does business with you, how do they feel? All right, so in business, I believe the most important thing is that we all want to make money when it comes to business. Now, I'm not focusing a lot more on trading, right? I'm not trying to talk on trading or the business side of trading. I'm talking about business as a whole. And the one thing which I would always encourage people that I speak to, or people that I counsel or mentor in a way, is even within this space, right? Whatever it is you're coming to the trading industry with, whatever your driving force or whatever your why is, it's what is going to sustain you in trading. Now, when you're trading, there has to be a purpose. For the money which you're looking to make. People come into the space saying that they just want to make money. Okay. What is the reason, or what are you going to do with the money you make when you get it? Okay. So there are people who would keep the money within trading itself. So they make money from trading itself, and then they reinvest it into the business side of trading. So reinvest it into their assets. Assets would be the cars, the lifestyle, the clothes, the houses, and every other investment which will help them market themselves when it comes to the business side of trading. Now, outside trading itself, that's for people who want to focus majorly on the business side of trading. Now, beyond the four walls of trading and business, you're taking money from the market to fund something, to fund an idea which you have, or a desire or a passion which you have, but you did not have the funding for it. Now you've made money from trading, which you're going to be using to fund that idea, right? So look at trading more as a well, which you're coming to fetch water from to water other seeds that you've planted. For a plant or a tree to grow, it's not just going to grow because, hello? Hello, can we hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So it's not just going to grow because you planted the seed in the ground. The only way that thing is going to grow is when you actually start watering it and it receives sunlight. That's when you start seeing that seed which you've planted germinate. So see the forex market, see the trading industry as a well, where you fetch water from to water other seeds. Okay, so that's the foundation I want us to be working with tonight. So once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Chendo, and it is indeed an honor to be here with you guys. Right. So now beyond the question which I've asked initially, it is not just about whether we've made money or not when it comes to business. Yes, everybody wants to make money in business, right? But it's not about whether you make money or not. It's not whether about the deal or the transaction was successful, but rather it is how did you feel or how did your clients feel about the deal? How did the client feel by the way you treated them? As our topic says, dignity, the most principal factor to a lasting relationship. So we should focus more on not just whether we made money from a business transaction or a deal, or whether the deal was successful, but rather our focus should be how did our clients feel, or how did they feel about or how we treated them, by the way we treated them. Because business naturally is often presented as numbers, right? It could be numbers, it could be contracts, it could be strategy and profit. Okay. But underneath all of that, right, business is still people transacting or dealing with people. So for you to be able to make a sale, for you to be able to close a deal, you're not interacting with the contract. You're not interacting with the transfer that is being made to your bank account. You're interacting with the people or the person who is making that transaction or signing off on that deal. I hope we're tracking. So our major primary focus should not be on the money we're going to make when we're doing business. Our major focus should be how does our clients feel working with us? Because it is because of how we made them feel that will probably even allow them to refer us to other people, or for them to even come back to do business again with us. Right? Tonight, I would want to argue that dignity is one of the most important factors in making those relationships last. Now, for us to really understand what we're talking about tonight is for us to understand the primary and the key word, dignity. Right? So, what does dignity mean? What's the meaning of dignity? We're all saying this word tonight, but what does it actually mean? Right? So dignity just simply means the state of being worthy of honor, respect, and high value. So in essence, it is how we treat people, how we treat ourselves, so our self-respect, and the respect we also give to other people. Right? The value that we place on ourselves and the same value we also place on our fellow man. Even as the Bible says that you should do unto others what they want, what you want them or you would like them to do unto you. Right? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So in business, we should be mindful of ensuring that we're people who operate with what? Dignity. Okay? So, like I said, the question that we should ask us, so I don't know how many of us here have a business that we're doing or have probably sold a product. Probably you're an author, you write a book and you sell your book. When people buy or interact with you before purchasing your book, how do they feel? Now, this issue of feeling is psychological. That's one thing I want us to also understand. As much as we have the psychological part of trading, when it comes to business, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to sales, we also have the aspect of psychology as well. And there's one thing which I thought about last week, about 2 weeks, either last week or 2 weeks ago, that one of the very, very strong people in society who actually should be making the most money are people who actually studied psychology or human psychology and are now into marketing and sales because they understand how the mind works, they understand how people feel and react to things. There are certain triggers or emotions that are being tapped or focused, or I would say points that are being nailed on or hammered on when people are doing business or creating an ad, marketing, or secure, or even closing a deal. Paying attention to the pain points or the key things which your client or your customer or your business partner or your investor is talking about. You pay attention to all those things and you address them head on, right? So the question I'll ask us again is, have we ever had a business relationship that ended? And it ended not because money was actually the problem, not because people didn't get paid. Have we ever had a transaction that client did not come back again? That business partner didn't want to do business with you, not because of the fact that the money was actually the problem. If your answer to this question is yes, then for a fact you know that in business, money is not always the primary thing that you should be focusing on. In fact, it shouldn't even be the primary thing you should be focusing on. Because if people receive their money, even if there was a delay or a miscommunication, the process before the money was received, how did each party feel during that process? Right? I'll use a key Bible passage to explain it, which is what we normally call the golden rule that I believe many of us should know, which says in Matthew 7 verse 12, which says, "So in everything, do to others what you would have them do unto you," like I said before. So we should ensure that in our dealings, we are acting with people who have dignity. Okay? So now, usually the problem was how the person was treated. That is why that business relationship ended. Not necessarily because of the money. We have situations where it's very common. I don't know about in other countries outside, but within Nigeria, it is It is very easy for somebody to beg you. They want to come and borrow money from you. It's very easy for them to come and meet you and beg you to loan them money. They will tell you all sorts of stories. My mother is in the hospital. She swallowed a spade or she swallowed a shovel, and now she has to go for a surgery or an operation for them to remove it. You listen, you pity, and then because of the story, you will now release the money. They'll tell you that they'll pay you at the end of the month. Now, ending of the month comes. You message this person. This person is not replying. You keep texting, you keep calling, asking. Now, initially, it was them begging you to borrow you money. Now, the tables have turned. You're the one going to meet them now. It's as if now you're begging them to return your money. Now, if it is an amount that you can afford to just let go and move on with your life, the truth of the matter is that even if the person tomorrow later refunds that money, if they come to you to meet you for help again, you won't be willing to help them. Why? Because of how they made you feel. So we should all be mindful of our dealings with other people, how we talk to them, the words we use, our actions, our reactions are very, very important to ensuring that these relationships last. Otherwise, someone who could have been a very good partner, business partner, or friend is now lost because of one's action towards them and how one made them feel. All right, so let's keep tracking. So I hope we're all tracking and we're all gaining value, right, from the things which are being said tonight. So because of this, right, that is why I think the question after every transaction should not just only be, did we make money? That should not just be the question after every transaction, after every deal. Rather, it should be, did we build trust? Did this transaction, did this process, how did the client feel? Did we build trust? If we're building trust, best believe that the money is going to come. But if people don't trust you because you have no dignity, how you relate with them, you disrespect them, you take them for granted, you talk down on them, you're rude to them. If they feel that way, trust me, there will be no trust in your brand or in your business, and there will be no revenue, there will be no money coming in, there will be no referrals. Nobody's going to come to you anymore. If you're not the person that has integrity, that your yes is your yes, your no is your no. If you're going to deliver by XYZ time, you make sure you deliver by XYZ time. If there are some unforeseen circumstances that will hinder you from actually meeting up with the time which you've set or with the target, you communicate with your client, with your investor, with your partner, that this is the situation on ground, this is what's happening, and we may need an extension. Right? Because if you do not communicate with the people you're working with, then what you're essentially doing now is you're killing the trust that they have in you. But as long as you're communicating as well, right, you're essentially, reestablishing the trust that they've put in you. Okay? So now I've already said what dignity means, right? So dignity essentially is just treating people as valuable, and that is whether you agree or disagree. If you agree or disagree with them, or you do not believe in their beliefs, you don't have the same belief system with them, it doesn't make them less valuable, right? Because primarily each and every one of us are created in the image of God. So our value as humans lies in the common denominator, the common factor that we were created by the same being. So as a result of that, we all are valuable, especially in the sight of God. Right? So dignity essentially sounds like a big word, right? But in business, it's very practical. Okay? So essentially it just means how you speak to the cleaner, right? It's the same way you speak to the intern in your office or in your company or wherever you find you. You could be the CEO of a company. The same way you speak to the cleaner should be the same way you speak to the intern. If you're an intern or you're a staff, the same respect you give to the cleaner, to the driver, to the cook is the same respect you give to your CEO or your boss. The same way you speak to your clients and the same way you also speak to your investors, right? You speak to everybody with the same level of respect that is due to them as human beings and as God's creations primarily. That's the first thing. Okay? So this is where your character shows. How you treat people, how you speak to people essentially shows the type of person you are. It shows your character. And one thing I love about the trading industry or trading itself is it builds you as a person altogether. It teaches you patience. It builds your character. It helps strengthen your psychology and your mindset. It helps you with your risk management. It makes you an entirely better person altogether. If you're reckless with money, if you're proud, the market will humble you, trust me. If pride was your problem and God wanted to teach you humility and he just put trading in front of you, best believe you become very, very humble. Because when you think you know, the market will tell you that, nah, my brother, you don't know what you're doing. It will make you feel like you don't know what you're doing. And that's when now you start building a very strong psychology, understanding you as a trader. First, understanding yourself, and then understanding how the market works, how the big dogs and the market makers move the market, how you start thinking like them and applying certain thought processes in your approach to trading. Okay? So dignity just simply means that I can disagree with you. That's when I said that you can agree with somebody, whether you agree with them or not, whether it's with their beliefs, whether it's with their thought processes, right? Dignity just simply means that I can disagree with you, right? Without making you feel small, without making somebody feel like they're insignificant or they're not up to your level or they haven't experienced life to the level which you have. So whether you agree with someone or you disagree with them, we ought to treat everyone around us with dignity because it might be that cleaner, it might be that driver that will connect you to the person that will change your life or will give your business the contract that will take you to the next level as an organization, just by merely how you made the driver or the cleaner feel. Because it's those people, if you think about it, it's those people that have direct access to the person that you're looking for. It's not the family member. It's not just the family member, rather. It's not just their personal assistant. It's not just their childhood friend or their best friend that has direct contact or access to these guys. The cook is the person that prepares the food that the CEO eats. The cleaner has access to their bedroom, to their office. The driver is the person that takes them to everywhere they're going. So if it's that you feel like you can talk down to the driver and then be doing eye service to probably the personal assistant, then my brother, my sister, you've got your priorities wrong and completely mixed up. You ought to treat everyone the same way, because you never know who God will use to get you what you're looking for, to answer your prayers. Okay? So I'll want to use, before I proceed, I'll just want to use some passages, right, to continue to guide us even during the session. But I just want to find out, before we continue, if each and every one of us are tracking, right? So if we can drop in the comments, right? If you're tracking, just say yes, so I know that we are all tracking so far and everything is understand, you're getting value. So if in the chats, maybe you can say we're tracking, you can just say value. Maybe let's just say value in the chats right now, so I know that everybody is tracking and gaining value from everything that has been said so far. All right.
Can you hear me, sir?
Sorry?
Yeah, tracking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, sweet. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so right, so let me just highlight some verses so we can just to support all the points that have been mentioned before. All right, so we all know the golden rule already, which is Matthew 7 verse 12. So in everything you do to others what you would want I'll have them do to you. Another one is Philippians chapter 2 verse 3 to 4, right? Which in essence just says that we should do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, right? And this just speaks directly to what I've said before, our ego, power, business relationships, and that you can essentially, like I said, you can disagree with somebody and still give them the respect and still show them dignity, right? So you can be successful without treating people as tools, right, for your success. We have some certain bosses, some certain CEOs who treat the cleaners or the people who are below them as insubordinate, right? Treat them as insubordinate, as like they're not human beings, as less than nothing. Right. And it's like I said, it's people that we're dealing with. It's people that help the organization or help your business grow. It's the people that speak to the clients that close and make the sales. So essentially, how you speak to them, how you value them, would also determine how far your business grows. So if people are not being treated well, best believe that they won't perform well and your business won't do well either. However, there are times that you can treat people well and they won't treat your business well. But in all, doesn't mean that you shouldn't treat people with kindness and with dignity. Everybody at the end of the day will reap what they sow. Okay? So let's just have that in mind. Now, the next thing, like I said before, let our yes be a yes. Essentially, let us all have integrity in business. Okay, so as it says in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1, says, "The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate witty weights find favor with him." Proverbs 22, verse 1 says, "A good name is more desirable than great riches." So that is one thing which we all need to focus on when it comes to business. having what? A good name. Because it is the name that will bring about revenue, is the name that will bring about the deals or the contracts. If you're willing to deceive, if you're willing to place the money above your name, that means your business essentially, you're just simply saying that you're not in business for the long haul. You're in business for short-term gains. If you prioritize the money over your name. So let us all focus more on having a good name in business than just making a profit. Because when you have a good name, that money will come. There's no, it comes hand in hand. With a good name comes what? Value. With a good name comes trust. And when there's trust, and when there are people that trust you and trust your business, trust your brand, and trust what you do, the money is definitely going to come. And at a point will come where you start denying contracts, you start selecting the deals or the people you work with. In every industry or every business that is now well known, let's take some very popular brands that we know today, whether it's Nike, whether it's Adidas, whether it's Puma, whether it's Apple, whether it's Coca-Cola, whether it's Dangote in Africa. All these brands or all these companies or businesses have built trust over the years. You don't just build trust overnight. It takes time. And the same way you build or you grow a business over time is the same way you grow in trading. If, like I said, you are prioritizing money over a good name, then your business is definitely going to be short-lived. As that is also the same thing with trading. When you prioritize making money first, then actually learning how to trade, that is the beginning of your downfall in trading. So the focus should be essentially learning how to trade first, because once you have the knowledge, the money is going to follow. Once you know what you're doing, the money is going to follow. As well as working on every other factor, because knowledge is not just enough in trading. Knowledge is just one of the things which you need to have. You have to work on every other thing to become a consistently profitable trader. There's an acronym I normally work with called BIPS, BIPPS. That's the 5 stages for me of every trader. So we have the beginner trader, that's the B. The I is for intermediate, right? Then we have the first P stands for professional trader. So that means the person now is now a professional technical analyst. So you can analyze the charts technically professional on a professional level. Now, the 4th scale is now the profitable trader. That's where now those your professional analysis now are now turning a profit, because you can be a professional trader and still be losing money and be blowing accounts and be failing prop challenges, right? So by the time you're now turning a profit and you started making money, then you now become a profitable trader. That's the second P. Now the S, after consistently turning a profit, or when you're now consistently profitable and you've been able to use the profit which you've made from the market to invest into something else, probably another business outside trading, or even back in the trading, the business part of trading, right? Then that's when you now become a successful trader. So that is another thing which many traders should, learn, that there are stages and you grow. As much as your business grows, you take the business approach and apply it in trading as well. The same way you give your business will not become a profitable business after launching, after a year of launch. It could take some businesses 3 to 5 years before they start turning a profit. Right? The same process should also be applied in your trading. It doesn't always necessarily mean that it's only going to be after 3 years that you can start making money or you become a profitable trader. You could become a profitable trader even after 2 years. But trust me, your first year is not going to be your most profitable year. In many cases, the first year is not always going to be the most profitable year in many cases. It's just in a very, very select few who maybe God just had mercy and showed them grace, and within a year or so, it so happened. But the first year essentially is for you to learn and experience trading and start your journey. Okay, so let's just get right back into it. I think I only have a few minutes left, so I'll just try as much as possible to rush through what I have left here. So now the fourth thing I want to talk on is, why do business relationships break? Right? So most relationships don't collapse just because of one big disagreement. Okay? So, and relationships, rarely die after one dramatic incident or one dramatic moment. So, not because of one misunderstanding that relationships die. The reason why they die is usually because of accumulation of one unpaid invoice, one broken promise, one ignored message, right? One embarrassing moment, or you embarrass your client or your business partner in front of others, or one time that someone realizes that this person only respects me when they need me, right? So if they don't need me, then they don't treat me with value, or they don't value me. So it's an accumulation of all these things that will now eventually, lead to distrust, or now trust now becomes what? Expensive. Okay? And once this trust is gone, even a profitable relationship now becomes difficult to maintain. Once you've built trust with someone, but especially with the business part, that's why you see so many fallouts between, especially in startups, where two co-founders, you and a friend of yours, start a business together, and because of an accumulation of repeated negative circumstances or moments, right? Disagreements. It's not because of just one thing. It's a accumulation of several things that causes this partnership or this relationship to break. So we should always for us to be able to sustain a long-lasting business relationship or friendship, right? We should be mindful of how we are treating our said partner. We should ensure that by all means necessary, that we are treating our partners with what? The respect that they deserve, and not making them feel like, we only reach out to them when we need them, making them feel small, breaking our promises. That's where the integrity comes in. Don't say what you know you're not going to do. So if you're making a promise, you make sure that that promise or that vow, you're gonna commit to it, and you're gonna keep it, right? So these are the key things that we ought to pay attention to ensure that we're able to build a long-lasting business relationship or even friendship. These principles can be applied in every category, right? And the truth of the matter is that dignity, the next thing is dignity. The fifth point, which I'm mentioning tonight, is dignity is tested under pressure. Dignity is tested under pressure. When you have a deadline to meet, how do you talk to the people that are working with you as a CEO or as a boss? As the head of a team, when you're working on a project, when the CEO or the upper level management are coming to meet you to ask you on report on the status of the project, how do you now speak to your fellow team members? How do you speak to them? How do you make them feel? So the test of dignity is not when things are smooth and things are going well. It's when one is under pressure. So anybody can be respectful when everything is going well. You can be friendly, you can be smiling, right? When things are smooth, when everything is okay, right? And however, the real test of dignity, right, isn't when everything is going well, like I've said, okay? It is when somebody disappoints you, right? It is when someone owes you money. Like I said before, when somebody owes you money and you go and meet them to collect your money back, how do you speak to them when trying to get your money back? At that point in time now, it's as if you're the one that was initially begging. It's like you are looking for somebody to give your money to, the way you're begging to get your money back. So how do you react? How do you treat the people that owe you money? Do you talk down on them? They have the story of the man that owed, I think it was 100 talents, or was it 100 cents, or 1,000 rather, 1,000 cents, and then his master forgave him and said he should forget about it. But then his own colleague that owed him only 10 cents, he locked him up in prison and said that until you pay me that money, you're not going to leave. And then when his own master heard it, he was so distraught. Is this not this person I just forgave? Now somebody is owing him, he cannot also forgive. And what is owing him is even less, way less, probably like 1% of what he was owing. But he took him to prison. So he also was thrown into prison. And this is, in fact, his entire generation, whether it's to go and sell his family or whatever he has to go and sell, he has to pay his debts. And even more safe. So how you treat people when they owe you money, or how you treat someone when the person owes you money, right? So as a boss, when an employee makes an expensive mistake, how do you react to them? How do you speak to them? How do you make them feel? Okay? When a business partner does not deliver on what he's supposed to do, how do you react to it? When you have the power to embarrass somebody, choose not to. You have the power, you have the right to embarrass somebody, but you choose not to. It shows your character, it shows that you're a person of dignity, a person who has dignity. You do not prove your character by how you treat people who can help you. That's not how you prove your character. You do not prove that you have dignity by how you treat people who can help you, or people who, your helpers, or people who can favor you in life. How you prove that you have dignity or you have built character is how you treat people when you have nothing to gain from them by being kind to them. That's how you actually know that you have dignity. and you've built character. Being kind to people even when it doesn't even benefit you, and you have nothing whatsoever to gain. What are you going to gain by dropping your empty plastic bottle of water you just finished drinking in the bin and not on the floor when the cleaner is cleaning? What will it cost you for you to trash your paper in the bin and not dump it on the floor because you see the cleaner has started cleaning? So they will just clean the trash and go. So these are the things that we need to be mindful of, right? Even as business people, as traders, as people who will eventually want to transition from trading into business, or will still want to stay within the four walls of trading and exploit the business side of it. Right, so my time is up. However, I'll just skim through my last 2 points. Right, the business principle is my 6th point. So essentially saying, protect your relationship while you protect the business, right? It doesn't mean that having dignity shows weakness. It doesn't mean that having dignity makes you a weak person, because you have chosen to protect your relationship, right? You have chosen to respect people. You have chosen to be kind to people and not to be rude to people. Doesn't make you weak. In essence, it actually makes you a stronger person, right? So, however, even though you have dignity, right, it doesn't disqualify the fact that dignity sometimes requires you to be very firm. What does that mean? It means that you can terminate a contract, you can close a deal which is not favorable to you. It doesn't mean because you have dignity, then you should allow anything to just go past you like it's nothing. It doesn't mean that you should allow people to disrespect you because you have dignity. It doesn't mean you should allow people to walk over you because you have dignity. Because you have dignity, if someone is disrespecting you, you walk away. Because you have dignity and this deal is going to exploit you and do more harm to you, to your business, to your name, you cancel the contract, you terminate the contract. You can fire someone who is not taking that. When I said you can show kindness and treat people with respect in your company, but it doesn't necessarily mean by default that they will do the same with your business. So if you're showing somebody kindness and in essence the person is showing you what Shege, Premium Shege, Shege Pro Max, doesn't care about your business, doesn't care about your growth, it doesn't care about anything that concerns you or your business, you can fire the person. Doesn't mean that you do a full public announcement or full-blown embarrassment to embarrass the person before the person leaves to prove a point. You can quietly dismiss the person and discharge the person, let the person go from your organization, right? You can reject an offer. You can demand for your money, even if somebody is owing and the person is refusing to pay. Like I said, the only time you can afford or decide not to keep pursuing is if you can afford to let that money go. For me, there are times which I have lent people money and then getting the money back becomes an issue. I can remember the time I lent my own mentor at the time when I started learning how to trade back in 2018, between 2018 to 2020. So between 2018 and 2020, it was around 2019, 2020, I found this guy. And it's a long story. Maybe another time I'll be able to share the details.
I have a lot of questions to ask.
Okay. All right. So
Let's open loop question. Are you round up?
okay, let me just round up. So in essence, right, you can terminate a contract, you can fire someone, you can reject an offer, you can demand for your money, and you can always walk away, right? But you do not have to destroy someone's dignity while doing it, right? The mature business person in essence, learns to separate firmness and sturdiness and standing on business from disrespect. Okay? So you can protect your interests, but you don't need to create unnecessary drama or unnecessary enemies. Lastly, this is what I just want to leave with each and every one of us tonight. That people will remember how you made them feel when things got difficult, when everyone was under pressure. People will always remember how you make them feel. If there's one thing I want every one of us to remember tonight, it's this. That people will forget many details of a transaction. They may forget the exact numbers that was sent, right? They may even forget what you said, but they often remember how you made them feel when things became difficult. So tonight, as each and every one of us build companies, partnerships, in our trading careers, let's only ask, how much can I make from this? Let's not only ask, how much can I make from this relationship or from this transaction? Let us also ask ourselves, what kind of relationship am I building? What type of name am I building? Because money can create a transaction. Trust creates a relationship. And it's only dignity that will give that relationship a reason to last. Thank you.
Type in the word. Guys, this is value. Hey. Type in the word there. WORD with a capital letter. Word. This is powerful. So if you have questions, please. We are open to questions. Let me first ask my own question. Hey. Now, as a boss in a company, because we're talking about dignity, as a boss in a company, sir, this is to you. As a boss in a company, you have a relative. Let me say it's your brother, direct brother, that is coming to apply for a job. And based on qualification matters, are you getting me? Based on qualification matters now, he is not worthy for that position. You want to put him, and other people that are very prominent for that position that are very equipped and capable to take that seat are over 1,000 people. But we have at least 10 most qualified people. And your brother is not even among the most 1,000 qualified people. So what is the rule of dignity in that area? Because I've seen many people put the wrong people in position because of relation. They put the wrong people in position because of relation, and then end up what? Bringing down the company itself. Please, can you help us explain in that aspect? Because I've seen a lot of things. So this dignity of a team is very broad. Let's hear your opinion, sir.
Okay, in a situation like that, to be very honest with you, this is business, right? This is your company you're talking about. And
Essentially,
and if this is, I understand the family aspect of things. However, if this is my direct younger brother, my direct elder brother, whichever case, the fact to always remain that it's my business. If I put the wrong person there, I'm the one that's going to pay for it. Now, the question I'll be able to ask, I should now ask myself is, can I afford to handle the damages if this person does not deliver? If this person doesn't deliver, can you afford to handle the damages that your business will suffer? If the questions or the answers to these questions are no, then you have to tell the brother that, see, this position that you're looking for, you do not have the qualifications for it. You do not have the skills for it. What you cannot do is to find a way to train them so that they can more or less be qualified for that position. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to go to school to study it. You can find a course. If it is a marketing role, head of marketing or head of sales, right? They don't necessarily have to go to university now to go and start studying all over again. You can put them through an institution or a course that they can start learning how to do marketing, how to do sales. And then you can get them into the company to start working, but they may not be heading a department. They will now have to prove and earn, because everything about business, essentially, apart from the fact that we're related, I believe that you must earn your place. You must earn your own bit. You must work for it. You must show that you are qualified for it. If you're not able to show that you're qualified for it and you just want it to be handed to you, trust me, things that are given to you for free, if it is knowledge, if it is opportunity, if it is money that is given to you for free, which you didn't have to work for, you will misuse it. There are also some times that you can work for something, you earn it, and you still make mistakes and misuse it. But the fact always remains that something that was given to you for free, which you didn't have to work so hard for, and you're not necessarily qualified, even though the Bible says that God qualifies the unqualified, but it is for his use when he wants to go and do things that pertain to his kingdom. But when it comes to business, there's nothing like God saying that he's going to qualify you that is unqualified for the position. Unless the fact remains that God is telling you, if that God has told you that, see, this your brother, I know he's not qualified for this position, but I am qualifying him. I have put something in him and whatnot. Then if it is a leading from God, that God has spoken to you to do it, then you go ahead and do it. The other people, even if the person of your family member, it could be somebody on the
Let
street
me
that
chip
you
this.
just saw.
Is, in terms of looking at the word sympathy as a human being, there are some things that we call principle and rules that is governing a particular company. So the word sympathy now, because it's my wife and she messed up, are you telling me that she should not face the same consequences that others have been facing? That's what I want to know. Because you are not talking about grace now, grace. But what about going to, that is receiving that same punishment? Because all this I will sympathize, and then because you are the CEO, and then this person makes mistake because you is your this thing. Like you said, the word business is business. Business is business. If you don't apply the same rules, because I feel that it's the same rule that is applied in business A that is applied in business B that is making that business still grow till now. So the word sympathy, what do we think? Does it really have any growth in business, or we follow principle and are there rules? Please, that is another question, sir.
Okay, if your wife or your son or your daughter makes a mistake in your company or in the business, probably situation where they messed up a contract or they transferred the money to a wrong account. Maybe you're making a purchase and they transfer the money to a wrong account. Like I said before, the same way you treat your clerk or your staff who is not related to you should also be the same way you treat your spouse or your family member. So if they've made a mistake, definitely if the company has policies God is a loving Father, but He's also a just God. So even when the children of Israel were sinning against Him and He was forgiving them, they were still going to be getting their punishment for the sins that they committed. Even though later on God punished the people that were punishing the Israelites, but still they received their punishment. They received, like I said, what you sow, you reap. If you even in business, if you're an organization and then you default on one of the company's policies, you will definitely have to face the consequences, but it doesn't mean that there is no room for second chances or for grace for you to come back. People who default or go against company policies, they receive queries. When they query you 1, 2, 3 times, you can receive a suspension. Because you are the daughter of the CEO or the wife of the CEO, principles should not be different. But it's unfortunate that in companies and in businesses today, is not always the case.
Principles should not be.
No, I'm saying principles, like I said, it's unfortunate in business and companies today that it is not applied. The principles are the same.
Yes.
The principles are the same. If you make a mistake, you receive your query, or according to what the company's policies are and what they have stated, you receive the consequence regardless of your relationship to the founder or the CEO of the company.
Sir, see, you have a soft mind. I like that. But at the same time, principles are principles. And as the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest shall not cease. Whatever you do as a company, it is a company. Whatever you do as an individual, it's an individual. So when we say company, work, you are not working for yourself, you are working for the entire people. So that is why a lot of businesses have been crashed down because of what? Because of just understanding that rule, just understanding the rule. That's why some people, after building a company, they give it to another people to become the MD, because their children are more capable to handle that company. Because if you handle that company to their children, they will kill that company down. So company is not an inheritance. Company is not an inheritance. You can inherit land, you can inherit properties, but when we talk about company is the capacity of your own knowledge and insight to contribute towards the growth of that community or that. So in terms of trading now, a lot of people are doing their own things zigzag. They are not focused on what we call growth. You see traders batching themselves, and it's not healthy for our psychology, because it's affecting even the newbies. But we all know that our faces are different, our problems are different. So soft mind is different from the rules. Companies have gone down because of what? Companies have gone down because of they are trying to what? They are trying to be soft. They are trying to sympathize. They are trying to favor this person because this person is a senior director to what the CEO and all of that. That is where the most of the problem has caused and has landed us into. Please, if you have any other question, please let's ask. Let's ask so we can round off. Please, we're taking more time.
Bye-bye. Satjan. Satjan. Okay.
All right, since there's no question, I will also give the space for our mentor to finish up. Mbata Hey, that is my graphic designer and the key pillar to E for CFS. Jeremiah, Mr. Jeremiah, please say hi to the people.
Hello, good evening. I was just enjoying everything Mr. Daniel was, talking about, and everything really makes sense. And even running a business, you need just beyond the forex knowledge, right? You need the business knowledge, right? Just like you have 2 feet, right? You need the technical aspect and you need the business aspect. And I really enjoyed, every aspect of this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Dan. It's great to be here, everyone.
I'm happy today that you joined, sir. It seems this is your first time joining us since all this while.
Yes, yes, yes.
You're welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please, everybody, if you please don't forget, tomorrow is going to be another day. So please join us tomorrow. I will allow the speaker to give us his last remark and word to end the meeting. But I want to make this announcement again. We have a 3 months internship course. That is, I am the one personally going to be showing you everything. I will be showing you everything. So I don't know why you are going to miss that class. It is actually $100 that I said, let me put a discount for the people so that they can join the call. So that $100 now is going to help you guys because I'm going to brush you up both psychologically and in terms of the ones we mentioned. We're going to also teach you on how to become a manager to yourself, how to manage your own capital yourself. Because I used to say this word, if you focus more on consumption, in your mindset, in your mentality, you are not going to grow further than where you are. But if you focus on investment, the investment you ascertained today is what will speak for you tomorrow. Because in times of trouble, some people believe that every day is a raining day, every day is a good day. No, there's still going to be a very hard day. Ask my friend here, Jeremiah. I never knew that there's going to be a very hard day for me until I started trying. I would see that this one would just go against me. Like I'm talking about the trust I put on people. This one disappoints me. This another person disappoints me. As in money that people that I feel that yes, they are trusted, but maybe it just happened. It was a bad day. It was not a good day for me. So everything was going against me. I keep money here. I can't find my money. I try to put things here. I can't do this thing. I tried sitting up with relationship. Everything was just drowning on me because that was my bad day. But what kept me keep moving was because I made investment on what knowledge. So we have both investment in knowledge wise, investment in properties, investment in time. So there are many things that we'll talk about. So don't miss that class for any reason. $100 for 3 months. We're going to start next month. So please don't miss it. Go and register. DM us now. And then there's always one person that give discount. Another person has paid. Yeah. So where is Kinsaya? Is Kinsaya here? Why will you miss this call? Such a very beautiful call like this. Is it because he's a Muslim? When they started putting Bible verse, everybody now run away because it's Muslim. All right, there's no problem. We are not here to vote. If I'm to teach you about history, you will run away. If I teach you about history, you run away. Right from time when Adam was, begotten by or created by God himself. After God forming him, we had so many other generations that came in before Abraham. So Abraham now became the center picture of both the Christian and the Muslim. So, but Ishmael came out of mistake. But there is no mistake that God overlooks. God still what? God still corrected the mistake. Every mistake, God is aware. God is aware that you will also be in this court today. So we have a creator, we call it creator. Everybody knows what we're talking about. But inside you as a human being, everybody keeps finding or want to find something that, like we call God. Like people want to find a God. And that is the reason why you can see people who are actually boasting that, yes, some people say, yes, I am the God, I am this, I am that. Some other people, do this thing because of the knowledge they have. But anytime you know something, you become a master over that thing. If you know how to swim very well, you become a master over it. If you know how to drive an airplane as a pilot, you have become a master over that thing. So what you know, that is what you rule over. So Adam knows something. That is why he became a ruler over that thing. But when sin came, disobedience now made Adam act of what? That sphere where it was supposed to be dominating. So he had to go and suffer again to know new things. So that's what he had, the fruit of good and evil. So he now began to know what evil is and know what good is. So you can't blame people now because people are also knowing what evil is. The knowledge of what they know, that's what's speaking for them. But that is why I said sometimes there are bad days, but your ability to withstand those bad days tells how strong you are. Imagine the people that build in a rock remain strong, but the people that build in a shallow ground, anytime the wind comes, they just scatter down. So what am I saying in essence? You should build solidly. And also, the creator knows the manual script. It has the manual script of every of what we're talking about, of we as an entire being. We have a manuscript and the creator has it, and we should know what it is. Read it, learn it, so that we can live our own peaceful life. We have a short time to live here on earth. Everybody are more concerned about money. But right now, money has been the only thing that is fighting the space with our creator. Yes, and that's why our creator said you cannot serve God and money, which is mammon. You cannot serve. He's not talking about Satan. Satan is using that money to lure people into darkness. So you see people, they concentrate more on money, but that's not the major thing. That's why you see pastors and who fail in their dignity because they now focus more on money. They allow money to override them. There is something I also wanted to say that somebody is a pastor, but because he wanted a green card, and since he's in US, he wanted a green card, and then the lady, they had a contract, so it's a marriage contract, and that marriage contract, the man has to keep paying some kind of fee until he goes to the time he has to. The lady had to sign the last paper, and she said she will have to sleep with him, that he has to sleep with her. But the guy said no, he cannot. That she be there have an agreement. The guy said no. That means he doesn't want to get a good job in America then. So the man now went to ask God for mercy, and then after he came, then do what he had to do because he was so desperate to get it, and he lost his dignity. Now, the way God punished him was that the lady had HIV. So when he went to the doctor to apply a job, in America, then you have to run some tests, and they said, "Oh, sorry, you have a HIV." He said, "No." He said, "How?" So he now discovered that it was a lady. Went to meet the guy and was like, "Well, why would you do this?" He said, "You're so desperate. It's not my business. I needed the sex too." So you can see everybody has their own angle of everything in life. But will you sell your dignity just like the way Esau did? He sold his dignity. Because he's a corny person also. There's word that we can use for all those things. He sold his portion, his birthright for just a portion of food to Jacob. And Jacob is, when God keep putting mantle upon somebody. There are difference between Joseph and then his 12 brothers. Reuben would have become one of the greatest, but You know what happened now? God now made Joseph. So it's not by you are the first son or you are the second son or you're the third son. No, it is by who is ready to carry that mantle, who is ready to take the stand of God, because God will always choose somebody as the leader in a family. So, are you fit? It is your preparation, it's your work. Whatever you sow, you reap. It's your work. And also, sometimes God uses his hand. But remember also, Saul was also part of the person that God ordained to be the first leader of Israel. But after Paul became the first leader of Israel, Saul, please go. Saul, after all those things that Saul did, Saul still defied, disobeyed God, and lost his dignity. When the prophet said, Eli said that, see you, go and kill all the whole cattle. That is the instruction that God gave. But he instead of going to kill all the whole cattle and everything in that land, he went to spare some. And the history in that land, when the children of Israel were brought out of Egypt, were passing those lands, they went to Moab, they went to some other places that they went to, they were just rejecting them. But those ones didn't fight them. But you see that other people, they fought Israel and then they killed Israel. Even they stabbed Israel. And if you check the history, you will see that is the lineage of Esau. And Esau from so all these things, and this is where we got the Muslim now, they believe that once you can kill people, you will make heaven. How is that biblical? People that you suppose, the people that God created. That is why Trump is fighting against those attitudes. You cannot get a nuclear weapon. Iran, you cannot get a nuclear weapon because they will just do it and then they'll keep it. That is like, which kind of jihad is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of what those ones are doing? Okay, let's take Eli the prophet as an example now. After Eli the prophet, what he did was that he was so concerned about his children that he couldn't withstand, because he actually obeys God. When Samuel was telling Eli, am I right, Eli? Please, can someone help me in that place? Samuel was telling Eli that look at what God is saying. You do not control your children. Your children are disobeying God. They are doing the things of God. And Eli was like, oh, don't worry, my children don't do like this. Instead of you should tell them the right principle. That's why I said there is no pity when it comes to business, when it comes to things that are sacred. Then you have to be strict. You have to tell them because the consequences is higher than what they can bear. It's not something that they can solve. Sometimes people ask what is their problem, but they don't know that because of some things that they do without being conscious about it is what is putting them in those problems. So let us be careful. Let's hear from our speaker before we go.
All right. So maybe I'll just close off with this. What I'll just encourage each and every one of us after all that has been shared tonight is to say that the Bible doesn't tell us that every business relationship will last, okay? What it does, it teaches us how we should conduct ourselves within those relationships. Matthew chapter 7 verse 12 tells us to treat others as we would want to be treated, okay? And then Proverbs chapter 22 verse 1 rather, tells us that a good name is worth more than riches. Also, Proverbs 11 verse 1 reminds us that God cares about how we conduct our business. So dignity isn't just a business strategy. For a Christian, it is a reflection of our character. Okay, so we should be mindful of how we treat others. We should be mindful of how we conduct our businesses because God is interested in our business. Okay, so this is the verse I would want us to just really hold on to moving forward, especially when it comes to our businesses or day-to-day interactions or transactions, which is Proverbs 22 verse 1, that a good name is more desirable than great riches, to be esteemed better than silver or gold. Even in trading, a good name is directly related to good understanding or good and solid foundational knowledge of trading itself than the proceeds or the benefits that this skill or this industry or this market is able to provide or give. So we should pursue that. Like I said, dignity is also gives you the power and the strength to stand firm, to deny or to reject certain offerings or certain deals or certain contracts, or to walk away from certain people and to fire a certain staff that is not taking your job seriously, even if the person is your family member. He's not taking the business seriously and prioritizing the growth of the company. He's not respecting the company's policies. Dignity also gives you dignity because you have dignity doesn't hinder you from firing that person. It is how you now go about doing that that matters. How does the person feel during that process or even after they've been fired, even if the person is your family member? Okay? And right, so prioritize a good name more than the amount of profit you're going to make from this deal. If this deal is going to give you profit, but it will tarnish your name, then cut that deal off. Walk away from the deal. Walk away from that contract. Because your name is more valuable than any amount of money that is offered to you. Because that name will even bring more than you can even imagine, as long as you maintain that good name. Right? So putting everything back to our major topic, our main topic, right? In business. So we spend so much time building companies, right? Making money and creating wealth. But let's not become so focused on what we're building that we destroy the people that we're building it with, or the people that are building the business or the company with us, right? Because at the end of the day, the greatest business asset you can have is a good name. And a good name is built by how we treat people. So everything at the end of the day boils down and is all connected together. The way you treat people essentially will determine how you're remembered, how your brand is perceived, how you are perceived as an individual, and it also essentially determine how much you may end up making from that business and the people that will help you get to that level. So I pray, even as we have all been a part of this meeting tonight, that we will all go home and not just keep our notes, but at the end of the day, practice everything that has been taught, not just from tonight, not just in tonight's session alone, but in every other session that has been held, building right up to this point. And I believe there's the grand finale tomorrow or Monday, right? So as much as you can possibly, because all this that's being given to us is given to us freely. Even our salvation is given to us freely. And that's why sometimes we take our salvation for granted. Right? If it's that people had to pay to be saved, trust me, nobody will want to pay so much for salvation and then want to just lose it. Everybody will be cherishing that salvation like gold. But because it's given to us for free, it's laissez-faire. And it's just unfortunate that's just how the life is. So please, let's not take all this for granted, but as much as possible, apply it. Thank you. Thank you, Ifosi. I appreciate the opportunity and the time spent here. It was wonderful.
DMJ, you can pray for us. Let's do it.
Okay, so in Jesus' name, Heavenly Father, we thank you for today's session. We give all the glory, we give all the honor. We thank you for blessing our speaker with word of wisdom. We thank you for everything you've done. Heavenly Father, give us that grace, give us that sufficient grace, that zeal to always practice what's been taught in all our sections with our speakers in the mighty name of Jesus. Father, by this time next year, all our heart desires shall be fulfilled. It shall be just a bundle of testimonies all around us in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you for Heavenly Father, for you are good. We praise your name, we glorify your holy name. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
All right, thank you. Let's do it. There's no other question. See you next time. What do we have to say to our coach today? God blessings. Type in the word. God bless. God bless. God bless. God bless. God bless.
All right. Cheers. Good night. And God bless everyone.
Good night. Ifosi,
Alpha, man.
yeah, I would love to connect with Mr. Daniel though. Probably we can do that on the
Okay,
call.
sure. I will connect you with him.
All right. All right.
All right. Have a nice